If true, this has massive implications for the Toronto Raptors, as multiple reports have dropped from Sports Illustrated that reveal there is a serious trade market for Bruce Brown, and a team has already made an offer for the Toronto Raptors wing. So we'll discuss that, including an exciting update regarding Scottie Barnes returning to the lineup, which I am very, very pumped to watch and to see, for tomorrow night. So we'll discuss all of that in this video. But before we do, folks, again, if you are a part of the over 67% of our viewers that are new to the channel, that are trying to stay up to date with all the latest Toronto Raptors news and just haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, make sure you guys hit that sub button so you don't miss a single thing that's going on with this Toronto Raptors team right now. And all the latest updates, because we got one exciting one to lead off this video, as a major Raptors return is incoming. That's right, Scottie Barnes, after months of not being able to watch this guy play after he went down with a hand injury, sort of, 2/3 the way through last year of a career season for Scottie Barnes, we finally get to see him back out there on the court for this Raptors roster, which I am very, very excited about. News came out from Josh Lundberg essentially indicating that Scottie Barnes is expected to make his preseason debut on Washington on Friday. It'll be his first NBA game since he sustained a season-ending injury on March 1st. And he said, "I'm just happy to be playing again. It's been a very, very long time." And obviously, things have been a little bit, I don't want to say dreary, but we've had an unfortunate couple weeks in Toronto Raptors land in regards to people being out of the lineup, getting down with injury. I mean, Bruce Brown's been injured. Jakob Poeltl's been injured. RJ Barrett went out with that shoulder injury. Immanuel Quickley's had that thumb issue. So, I mean, we've had a lot of interesting players that we've been excited to watch entering this preseason, entering the season, go down with injury. So, even though Scottie Barnes is out for personal reasons, I think it's public information. He had a child, I believe, so that's what's going out. I know there's some drama regarding a Brian Windhorst report. Not going to dive into any of that, but Scottie Barnes is now officially back into the lineup, and this doesn't have me. It couldn't have me more excited. I want to see the development. I want to see how Scottie Barnes improved over the summer beyond just kind of the highlight tapes that gets us all excited. So very, very excited for this because again, Scottie Barnes had a career season last year, 20 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 34% from the 3-point line. It was a lot higher for a large chunk of last season as well, and he's only 23 years old. We're going to see year after year massive leaps for Scottie Barnes, taking this game to the next level. So very, very excited to see what he does, out there in his first preseason action. Again, not worried about the stats, especially with how he's going to have to shake off some rust trying to get back into the lineup. But it's just seeing all the things that he improved on, because every year we're seeing, at least definitely last season, we're seeing Scottie Barnes improve and take his game to the next level. So that has me very amped up. But another thing that has Raptors fans a bit fired up is all these Bruce Brown trade rumors. And it has been months and months and months of consistent Bruce Brown trade rumors. It's been discussed, it's been talked about, it's been constantly kind of brought up on NBA Twitter, on NBA Reddit, on our channel, everywhere, regarding Bruce Brown's future with the Toronto Raptors. And the team picked up his team option over the course of this offseason, with Woj, coming out and directly saying, hey, this is a very tradable contract. They made that with this picking up Bruce Brown's $22 million option in mind. And now we had a couple reports come out from Sports Illustrated. Again, we're going to see a lot more reports with Adrian Wojnarowski out of the mix from these random kind of beat reporters in different places. So again, this isn't Shams. This isn't even Brian Windhorst, one of those types of guys. So take everything with a grain of salt. But a guy from Sports Illustrated came out and dropped 2 reports specifically regarding Bruce Brown, coming out and saying that the Dallas Mavericks and New York Knicks have both inquired about Bruce Brown. Dallas contacted the Raptors and made an offer for Bruce Brown, and it was rejected, league sources have told Sports Illustrated. This is coming from Jacoby Reynolds, and essentially went on to say in another report that the Memphis Grizzlies and Atlanta Hawks are sleeper teams to keep an eye on for Bruce Brown. Sports Illustrated now has learned teams are expected to negotiate with the Toronto Raptors, but the Raptors have a set price for Bruce Brown. So what does that mean? Essentially, the Toronto Raptors right now have 3 different teams linked to Bruce Brown here now at this point. And it's taking this image. I know we spotted this summer. I don't know if you can see it here on the screen, but Bruce Brown got a Denver Nuggets tattoo on his shoulder, which I get it. He won a championship, but still pretty wild that he's going to be playing with the Denver Nuggets logo out there on the arm. I mean, when Danny Green got the Raptors kind of logo, the Lakers tattoos, he always covered it up with an arm sleeve. That's something you can't really cover up there, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Bruce Brown kind of trade updates, and essentially what it's looking like now, according to this report, the New York Knicks, the Dallas Mavericks, as well as the Atlanta Hawks and the Memphis Grizzlies are the 4 teams that are currently in the mix for Bruce Brown. Now, the Knicks have long been long been talking about Bruce Brown dating back to last year's trade deadline, dating back to prior he was a Toronto Raptors. So essentially, the Knicks are always going to be a team, but given the moves that they've recently made, it seems unrealistic they're going to be able to bring in another big contract such as Bruce Brown and get off that type of money, unless we're getting like one of their star players back. OG Anunoby, send him back to the Toronto Raptors. But unlikely, I don't think the Knicks are really a realistic destination, but there are a few teams, specifically the Memphis Grizzlies, who, looking at them in preseason, looking at Zach Edey move and how he fits a major hole in that roster, I mean, this Memphis Grizzlies team is going to be back into contention. I discussed this on Courtside Digest, but frankly, I think this team is good. I think this team is very underrated entering this season. So win now teams are always going to be looking for kind of moves to help out, bolster their roster. And Bruce Brown is a very effective player in the NBA right now still, if you need to add him to the team. And they have some interesting pieces. The Grizzlies do have their bunch of draft picks, and they have guys like Brandon Clark. They have guys like Luke Kennard. They have guys like John Conchar that can be thrown into packages to make the money get facilitated a little bit better. Again, you combine those types of deals, and given the report, which is something we've heard consistently over the course of the last few months, Masai Ujiri has an asking price for Bruce Brown, and it needs to be met. And I assume that's a first-round pick, because Bruce Brown is a guy that is very good. He's good at basketball, but I don't have his stats pulled up here. It got overwritten. But basically, Brandon Clark would be a cool return for the Toronto Raptors. 28 years old, Canadian, 11 points per game, 5 rebounds. Dealt with I believe Achilles surgery last season, so dealt with an injury last year that kept him out for a chunk of games. His 3-point percentage isn't usually that bad. It's a very small sample size in terms of games that we got to see him last year, but is a guy that is a floor spacing big man that is very athletic and block shots, can finish around the rim, can play a similar role to Chris Boucher, just a little bit younger and do different things out there on the court. Also Canadian too, so Brandon Clark could be an interesting piece, but I feel like a lot of these teams, in terms of making deals happen, making deals work, would have to include a first-round pick. Now, we were talking the summer about the Grizzlies potentially dealing away Zach Edey to us to facilitate a Bruce Brown trade. The way Zach Edey has been playing right now, I don't think there's a chance that they end up giving him up. He's been playing, again, the stats weren't remarkable, but he dealt with a lot of foul trouble, but the way he was moving, man, just has me excited about that man's game. So, maybe Brandon Clark and a pick could be an interesting kind of return there from the Memphis Grizzlies. In terms of other teams that are kind of in the mix, right, the Atlanta Hawks, our team where Risache, I'm going to mess up that name pronunciation, but he looked really good in his first game of preseason. If the Hawks look like they're a team that can make a bit of a push, make a little bit of a run, the Raptors don't end up being a team that has a really strong hot start to the season, could make sense sending Bruce Brown to the Atlanta Hawks. Again, they have interesting guys. Okongwu will be a player I'd love to have come back and return for this Raptors roster. I mean, we're not getting Jalen Johnson. We're not getting some of their top guys, but even a Kobe Buffkin we've been linked to for multiple seasons now at this point too. There's always been a bunch of rumors about a Hawks and a Raptors trade, so wouldn't be shocked if Masai Ujiri has that number on speed dial, is ready to pick up the phone. And then kind of the last team on this mix, the team that already made an offer to the Toronto Raptors, is the Dallas Mavericks. Now, they have the least intriguing pieces to actually send to us. I mean, Omax would be a very, very nice pickup for this Raptors squad, and then take on maybe one of their one of their bad contracts. But I don't know, Omax and Kleba, that'd be a bit of a hole in their front court. They're now at this point. They do have Gafford, they do have Lively, so I'm sure they're not stressing too much there on that front. Exum just went down with injury, but if we're making a deal with the Dallas Mavericks, I want a first or I want Omax. That's the only real thing there. I don't want no packages involving Dwight Powell or random things there. No matter how good he was for Team Canada, that's not what I'm looking for on this Toronto Raptors roster. But let me know what you guys think, what you guys would like to see in a Bruce Brown trade. I don't think any of this is going to happen in the coming weeks. I think the Raptors going to see how the start of the season goes, and then see who's playing well, see who's doing different things, and then see what teams are desperate, and Masai Ujiri can prey on for different trade packages. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section down below. You guys are the best thing as far as subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.